Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is the wokest of the woke. He's the soyest of the soy. And he's the most willing servant of his globalist overlords. And yet we have to ask, why is he still in a job? A few years ago, he was caught wearing blackface, normally enough to earn the wrath and cancellation from all the weird, purple-haired, nose-ringed weirdos on Twitter. And yet he was given a pass, and he's still in his job, presumably for past favours. But now, being caught in blackface is not enough. He needs to push it to the next level. So instead of sitting and sorting out all the problems that he has caused for Canada, including the trucker dispute, the poverty, the unemployment, the Canadian shale oil crisis, all this sort of thing. No. He can't be doing that, because it's far more important that he puts on a pretty frock, gets called Justina, and goes on Canadian Drag Race. He wants to wear woman face. This is a man who wants to bestride the world as a leader of a nation and feels it far more important to put on drag rather than do his job. Poor old Canada, you deserve better. But let's look at this short piece, just found it funny. So, Trudeau now endorses woman face. Canadians slam Justin Trudeau for appearing on Drag Race TV show. Canada's Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, is set to become the world's first leader to star in a Drag Race television franchise. A trailer for the new season of Canada's Drag Race shows him meeting contestants who compete to become the next drag superstar. Surprised he isn't. He's so much everything else. He was soon slammed online as the backlash mounts against drag shows that involve young children. Because it is the sexualisation of children, and it is completely wrong. But he's backing this because he is so left-wing and with it. Because he's another one who's pushing the P line. Because, again, he is, if not one himself, he's not a P himself. He's certainly a fellow traveller. And he's quite happy to endorse all those things that push this down that line. But some pointed out that he's previously come under fire for his use of blackface and is now engaging in woman face. And others say he should be focusing on the major issues affecting the country. Too bloody right. I'm surprised he's got time to be doing this, given all the problems he's got. I mean, about with the country, not his own personal problems. Mainly being a bit of a wanker. Justin Trudeau has been slammed for going on the Drag Race television franchise when Canadians argue he should be focusing on staving off the cost of living crisis. Trudeau's appearance on the new season of Canada's Drag Race was announced Tuesday, with the show posting a picture of the PM beaming next to a drag queen saying, "We're making history." Oh, you have certainly created a legacy for yourself. You will be going down as pure soy and probably an enemy of the people. A trailer for the season, entitled Canada versus the World, shows the Prime Minister meeting contestants who compete to become the next drag superstar, and it's scheduled to premiere on November the 18th. But soon after, backlash mounted on social media amid controversies over drag shows that involves young children, after footage emerged as showing performers posing sexually in front of young children. Well, of course they do. They want to sexualise this. They want to push this onto children. The younger the better, because they want to Stockholming them into thinking that this is normal. Because they want, of course, ultimately to normalise P. And now you have a world leader standing up and openly admitting that he's not the only one, is he? Let's face it. But it's another world leader standing up and admitting that he openly pushes the sexualisation of children. Because that's the only conclusion you can draw from him being on this show and backing it. Amy Eileen Ham, the co-founder of Canadian Women's Sex-Based Rights Coalition, asked whether Trudeau will combine woman face and blackface. As Paul Oakley, a former spokesman of the UK Independence, tweeted, a keen advocate of blackface, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will now also endorse woman face, as he is to appear as a guest on Drag Race. Another Twitter user also wrote that Trudeau is an embarrassment. Oh, he has been for a long time. And there he is. Look at him. And what a complete wanker. He is an embarrassment. I mean, I feel sorry for Canadians. Well, I don't really feel sorry for Canadians. I feel sorry for all the Canadians who didn't vote for him. But for all of those who did, you get what you deserve. And if you think that is an example setting to the world of what your leader should be, you are terrible, terrible people. But these embarrassments are deliberate, the Canadian woman wrote. They are divisive. He knows we Conservatives will balk, and he can respond, this is not who Canada is. Meanwhile, another woman asked, isn't there some major crisis in the country, most of which he helped to create, like the good little puppet he is? Oh yeah, you have to ask, whose hands up his glove, you know? Quite a few, I'd imagine. I think he probably likes a few hands up his glove. And instead of even pretending to try and fix things, he's up here dancing around with drag queens. What a disgraceful clown. There's just a load of people moaning about him. Trudeau has long been known to champion LGBTQP issues in Canada, regularly appearing at pride parades and apologising for injustices committed against the gay community. But his appearance on the new season of Canada's Drag Race comes as prices in the country surged nearly 7%, with the Bank of Canada hiking interest rates by 350 points in just 7 months. There are now growing fears that the country may soon fall into a recession, caused exclusively by that wanker. In September, the new president of the Canadian Medical Association announced the country's entire healthcare system may crumble if it does not receive an infusion of cash. But rather than put money into their healthcare system, rather than sorting out the trucking crisis, rather than sorting out Canada's cost of living crisis, or its inflation crisis, or its export crisis, or its farming crisis, Trudeau says, no, the most important thing, clear my diary, got to go on Drag Race. What a complete tosser. And there he is in his blackface, because that is now acceptable. In Canada, the wearing of blackface is not only acceptable, it's enough to get you voted into office. So I think Canadians need to just start wearing blackface again. If it's good enough for him, and let's face it, it must be, because he's been caught doing it and then gets elected. So it must be acceptable there. Start doing it and see what the backlash will be. Meanwhile, backlash has mounted in recent years against drag shows in general after various clips emerged showing drag queens performing in front of young children. And just last month, a video posted to Twitter of a so-called family-friendly drag queen show captured a performer spreading their legs in front of an audience that includes young children. And we've got a picture of that in a moment. The event appears to have been sponsored by IPIC Movie Theatres, which operates a number of locations across northeastern US, Florida and California. And I'm just going to go on there, but let me just show you, this is the sort of thing. This is a man trying to flash what he's got in front of children. And that is what Trudeau, Canada's first black leader apparently, is endorsing. And there he is, endorsing the sexualisation of children. Well done, Canada. Anyway, I'm going to round off now. Well, you really don't know what to say. If I would put on blackface or put on woman face and abnegated my responsibilities at work and decided to go off on a bender, well, I wouldn't have a job for very long. And yet this guy seems to be able to get away with it with impunity. Perhaps it's because he is just that sock puppet of the globalist elite and therefore is protected. His wokery credentials, they give him a pass. He has his shield of social justice warriorship. It will protect him from any and all criticism. But one day, the chickens will come home to roost. He keeps pushing this agenda, and I think now everyone is starting to see that this trans, this drag, this sexualisation of children, it's all a moral cesspit. And I don't claim to be a moral person, but I do claim to have a certain ethical standard. If you're an adult, do what you like, but do not corrupt children. And that's what he's doing now. He is signing up and doing this to a group that has many times been shown to be, shall we say, dodgy around children. But Canada, you just keep voting for him. It's almost as though you're endorsing his actions. And that's fine. That's your choice. But don't come running to the rest of the world. Anyway, I shall finish there. Thanks very much for listening. If you like what you see here on the channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notification of future output. Leave a like, leave a comment, please. Share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, don't wear blackface, and goodbye.